Today we are going to start with the next topic, that is the photoperiodism. Photoperiodism is the ability of the plants to measure the length of the photoperiods. Like for how much time a plant is exposed to the light. The plants have the ability to measure this length of light, or you can say the plants have ability to measure the length of the photoperiod, and this is called as photoperiodism. Many physiological events such as initiation of flowering, seed germination, asexual reproduction, and onset of dormancy in plants are triggered by a photoperiod of certain length. Here I mean like the onset of the flowering, you can say the seed germination. This in a plant requires a photoperiod of certain length, means they require the light for a certain length of time, and this specific photoperiod is called as critical length or critical photoperiod. The length of the light or duration of the light which a plant requires for many physiological events such as flowering is called as critical day length or critical photo period. Means every plant has its specific photo period. Some plants may require the light for 12 hours, some may require for 10 hours, some may require for 8 hours to flower, to bring about the flowering, and this critical length is called as, this photo period is called as the critical day length or critical photo period. So let me tell you, back in 1920, W. Garner and H. A. Allard from the US Department of Agriculture discovered there was a mutation in the tobacco, a variety called Maryland Mammoth. There was a variety of the tobacco called Maryland Mammoth, and they found that this plant had a mutation. This plant had a mutation. This mutation did what? It prevented the plant from flowering in the summer. Normally, if you see a normal tobacco plant, it flowers in the summer. When the days are long, the plant flowers. If you see a normal tobacco plant, but this Maryland mammoth, which had a mutation, did not flower in the summer when the days were long. And this variety of the tobacco, what it did, it flowered, or it showed the flowering in the late December when the days are short and the nights are long. And they did some experimenting with this plant, like they gave it artificial lightening in the winter and artificial darkening in summer, and they found that Maryland mammoth was affected by photo period. In this way, they proved that the plant is affected by the length of the photo period. The length of the photo period means the length of the day or the length of the night matters for a plant. So plants are able to measure this length of the photo period. So in this way, it was concluded that photoperiodism occurs in the plant. Now coming to this variety of the tobacco, as I already told you, Maryland mammoth tobacco flowers only when the days are shorter than 14 hours. Its critical day length, means its critical day length is 14 hours. But when the days are shorter than 14 hours, it showed flowering. So here you can see this portion is the light, or you can say it is the day length. Here you can see it's the day length, and the night is very short here. So the night is very short here, you can see. Here it is the critical photo period. You can say the pink line here designates the critical photo period, and you can see the days are very long here, above 14 hours, and the nights are very short. And here you can see as well, the night is short and the day length is long. Fine. So the plant in this case does not flower. The plant does not flower. In this case, here you can see the days are long and the nights are short. The plant does not flower. Fine. And now in the second case, what happens when this night is longer than the critical photo period, and the day is shorter, And here also the night is longer than the critical photoperiod and the day is shorter. In this case, this plant showed the flowering. Long nights and short days plants flower. So they found that in this case the plants showed the flowering. And this is the henbane. This is the normal variety of the tobacco. In the normal variety of the tobacco, what happens? Normally, which I told you, normal tobacco plants flower in the summer. They require long days for flowering. Here you can see it is a long day and a short night. And here is a long day and a short night. The plant showed flowering. Here is a vice versa of this. The plant showed the flowering. And in the second case, when the nights are longer than the critical photoperiod and the day is short, in both these cases, the plants don't flower. The plants don't flower. So, what they did, they called the Maryland mammoth the short day plant because it requires the short days and long night condition. Short days and long night conditions. So they called it a short day plant. And here this henbane, which is a normal variety of tobacco, it required the long days and short nights. And what happened in the case, the flowering occurred when the nights were short and the days were long. The plant showed the flowering. So they called it as long day plant. Fine. So I hope I am clear here. So what we conclude from this, the long day plants, a plant that flowers only after being exposed to light periods longer than a certain critical length, means the light period or the day is longer than the critical day length or critical photo period, as in the summer. For example, spinach, lettuce and some varieties of wheat are long day plants. What happens? Here you can see this dotted line, it shows the critical photo period. This shows the critical photo period here. This dark portion shows the night length and this shows the day length. This in yellow shows here the day length. So what happens in the first case, when the night is short and the days are long? Fine. So the days are longer than the critical photo period. This is the critical photo period and the days are longer than the critical photo period. What happens in the long day plants? The plants show flowering. The plants show flowering means they will bloom in the summer when the days are long and the nights are short. So I already told you spinach, lettuce and some varieties of wheat are long day plants. They require the photo period max greater than the critical day length. And what happens when the night was long and the day was short? Night was longer than the critical photo period and the days were shorter than the critical photo period. What happened? The flower did not show any flowering. The flower did not show any flowering. So, and this is the case of the long day plants when the days are short and the nights are long, means they will not bloom in the winter. In winter what happens, the nights are long and the days are short. So these long day plants will not bloom in the winter. Fine. And what happens later, experimenting with these long day plants, what the scientists found, that they found that if the days were short in winter, if the days were short and nights were long, but this night was interrupted with a flash of light. This night was interrupted with a flash of light. Say for example, the plant was exposed to a light in the night period for example, you say half an hour. Half an hour break was given in the night. The plant showed flowering. And this interruption of the dark phase or the night with the flash of light is called as night break. This is called as night break, and they expose the plants with the flash of the light. Say for example, for half an hour they showed the flowering. They showed the flowering in the winter also, when the nights were broken and the night was broken into two parts and the flash of light was given, say for example for 1 hour or half an hour, they showed flowering, and this interruption of the night with the light is called as night break. I hope I am clear here. So moving forward, we come to the short day plants. A plant that requires a long period of darkness. Here long period of darkness is required for a plant to flower. Say for example, uh, short day plants form flowers only when a day length is less than about 12 hours. You can say the short day plants flower only when what happens, the day length is less than 12 hours. So you can say these flowers bloom in the winter when the nights are long and the days are short. Here you can see when the night is short and the day length is longer than this critical photo period, the plants don't show any flowering. The plants don't show any flowering. You can say they don't bloom in the summer because then the days are long and the nights are short. And what happens when the night is long, then the critical photo period, and the day is short, the plants show flowering. The plants show flowering means they bloom in the winter when the days are short and the nights are long. And what they observed, and they also did experimenting with the plants like they did with the long day plants. What they gave the plant the flash of the light. They broke this dark period of the plant with the flash of the light. Say for example, they exposed it for half an hour, and what they observed, they did not observe any flowering in the short day plants. The night break had no effect on the flowering of the short day plants. This means that they only require the long nights. The night break is not important for these plants. And the examples of these short day plants are chrysanthemums, poinsettias, and Christmas cactus. So these are the examples of these short day plants. And now coming to the day neutral plants. A day neutral plant is a plant that flowers regardless of the amount of the day light of the daylight it receives. The photo period doesn't matter for day neutral plants. They flower irrespective of how much light they get, how much dark they get. Irrespective of that, they flower. You can see the corn and rice are examples of the day neutral plants, and that will bloom whether the day is long or short. So photo period doesn't matter for these plants, and that's why they are called as day neutral plants. And the examples of the day neutral plants are cucumber, corn, tomato, pea, and dandelion. So this is about the day neutral plants. So today we have studied the photoperiodism, long day plants, short day plants, and day neutral plants. So I hope I'm clear. Thank you so much.